Okay. How about I show you 3 tricks, 2 of which you should be doing, and one that you might want to consider. Let's first talk about the cute and simple, like, oh my god, that's pretty neat. Too much caffeine. Now, this is an Nikon D7100. Obviously, it takes SD cards. If you have a vertical battery grip for your Nikon D7100, take it out. You'll notice in the tray there that between the battery compartment and the end right here is a space, right? And what I do is just going to take a camera and a lens or two, and it's so easy to lose SD cards. What I'll actually do is take a couple of those and use some industrial duct tape and stick them to each other so you're not damaging the labels or anything, and stick a pair of them right there, and then you could store them in your camera, and you can actually fill up. I always use one card for a primary, and obviously the secondary is instantaneous backup, not overflow, which writes to one card and that fills and it goes to the other card. That way you have no data redundancy. You should always be shooting the second card unless you have some sort of insane perversity towards data loss, which I certainly do not, because I preach the religion of data protection, preservation, is that you should be using your secondary card for backup, not overflow, which is fill one card then it goes to the second. Never overflow. Backup, meaning it's writing to both cards, same time, same images, yada yada yada. One card fails, you've still got the other card. And I have seen cards fail before. So once you get done with one set, then stick the the 2 cards here, and then put the cards that were in here into your camera. And that is a neat little trick. It works on your D750 or D7100, and you fit it in that little slot right there. Yes, yes, yes. Works really well. Because you know SD cards are easy to lose. You always know where they're at. They're in your battery compartment on your vertical grip. Second thing, if you're not doing it, then you be doing stupid, is that you should be shooting RAW+FINE. Why is that? Well, if you don't know why you should be shooting a digital negative, then you need to be doing some internet research. I don't need to sit here for half an hour and explain why someone should be shooting RAW. As I just told you, you should be not using, if you got 2 card slots, like here we got 2 SD card slots, the same thing on the Nikon D3 here. I have 2 slots except for 2 compact flash card slots. I'm never using overflow, which is fill one and go to the second. Always using backup, meaning writing both cards same time. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, this is going to be a 4-point video actually. Point number 3, yeah, always be shooting RAW+FINE. Now, the reason for that is twofold. Well, it's threefold actually. You should know why the hell you should be shooting RAWs instead of JPEGs. I mean, if you don't know why, please do some internet research. Why you should be, you got tons of latitude in there. It's like having a parachute that's too large instead of one that's just barely enough to keep you from breaking your legs when you land. And parachutes have sizes, for example, I used to skydive all the time. It's like, well, this is the minimum you could jump. It's like, yeah, you know what? I would like to break my damn leg when I land today. I would like a slightly larger parachute, so I land like a cream puff. And instead of like, where, you just like, if you hit it just right, you might not break your legs, but you probably will. So that is why. Latitude for post correction, which you don't have shooting JPEGs. So, now you know I need to be shooting RAW, obviously. So, why plus RAW+FINE? Why do you want to be shooting in RAW+FINE? Because, 2 reasons. Reason number 2 first. In post, when you drop your card in your computer, like that, and you go to look at your images, if you want to do a quick preview, you're going to have to bring up, and I've got a fast computer back there, baby, but even bringing up every one of the huge RAW files is a pain in the crotch to look at it or preview it. You want to do a quick preview, you got these nice large JPEGs to look at. It's like, okay, this is the image I want. The identical RAW file is right next to it. So you can extract it quickly. Quickens up your workflow. Point number 2, when you go to take a shot, if you want to check, now there's a small JPEG. If you're just shooting in RAW only, then what happens is when you go to preview your image and you zoom into 100%, you're not really seeing that good of an image because you're seeing a shitty JPEG that's in the RAW file instead of the adjacent fine JPEG that is associated with that RAW file. So if you shoot fine plus raw, you can't really zoom in at 100% to see that image with any great detail so far as whether you nailed the focus or not. Especially, you know, it's important when using manual focus lenses. Very important. If you shoot raw plus fine, then what you're able to do is you can check the focus at 100% after you took the shot on image preview and you're sitting there chimping on the pics like ooh. And then you can see if you nailed it by looking at that large JPEG file. So always shoot, and this is not my premise, I mean this is really a premise of professionals, shoot raw plus fine. Okay, last point here. You should always have, if your camera's got 2 SD card slots or 2 compact flash card slots, a lot of people number their cards, and that's a stupid mistake. It's stupid! Like someone will name this card like card number 2, card number 3, or card number 5 and 12. You know, you're mixing them up after a while. Never do that. Always keep them together. Since you are, because you're smart, or at least you're going to start doing this, you're going to start using the secondary card as a backup, not an overflow. It means writing the same thing, same time one card is writing the second. You need to keep them as a set and mark them that way. You see, this card over here is marked set 1, card A, and this one over here is marked set 1, card B. It means these always stay together. They're never apart. They're like identical Siamese twins that are conjoined at the hips. When I do a shoot and I fill one card up, I've obviously also filled up the second card. So I don't remove one card, I remove both, and then I slide in a new set. This eliminates huge confusions. It eliminates the possibility of erasing your files unnecessarily. It really does solve a lot of problems. When you're on a fast shoot, you got to keep these cards together. You don't want to think. You want to keep things simple. Keep it simple, stupid. So always keep them together and mark them that way. Set 1, card A, card B. So you know those always to go together. You know this is a secondary backup card that goes in the secondary slot. However, once you yank it out, since they're both identical, that doesn't matter anyway. But they always stay together. So that is what you should be doing. So those are some cool tricks. Well, they're not really tricks. They shouldn't be tricks, but most people are like, I never thought of that before. It's like, well, you should have thought of it. You should have been shooting raw, and you should have been shooting raw plus fine, and you should be keeping your cards together and number them that way. And that is the end of that. Right. Too much caffeine. Too much caffeine. Not insanity, caffeine! Catch you later, bye. That video from the like this video and drop a buck or two, go tell me jump off a cliff, or else we happy. Catch you later, bye.